Hey there, Mama, and welcome back to the Moms Overcoming Overwhelm podcast, episode 75. I'm Emily McDermott, and I'm here beside you on this journey as we work together to declutter your home, head, and heart. Well, this week we are going to be celebrating Thanksgiving on Thursday, and I just wanted to take a quick moment to say how thankful I am for all of you listening, each and every one of you. I have grown and learned so much on this podcasting journey, and it's been my absolute joy to share the things that I have learned about decluttering, simplifying, and also being able to make room for the life that we want and deserve as mothers with all of you. So thank you so much for your support. And today we are going to be talking about the secret to a joy-filled and clutter-free home. I'm really excited to share this with you. It's something that's been on my heart, and I can't wait to dive in. So what do you say? Grab that notebook and pen, and let's dive into today's episode. Hey there, Mama. Are you tired of all the stuff crowding your home, calendar, and mind? Do you wish you could say goodbye to the endless to-do list running around in your head? Want to declutter but don't know where to start? You're in the right place. Welcome to Moms Overcoming Overwhelm, where you will find proven and practical solutions to declutter your home, head, and heart. Hi, I'm Emily, a wife, boy mom, and simplicity seeker. I struggled to get pregnant and felt overwhelmed until I discovered decluttering could create the physical and emotional space I needed to become a mom. Now, 2 kids later, I've transformed my life in motherhood by developing simple systems around decluttering, capsule wardrobes, kid stuff, cleaning and tidying, meal planning, time management, and more, and I can't wait to share them with you. If you're ready to reclaim the time and energy you crave, be present with your kids, and finally enjoy the life and motherhood you so deserve, let's kick overwhelm to the curb, shall we? Grab your lukewarm coffee, your notebook and pen, and clear up some counter space. Let's do this. Before we jump into today's episode, I just want to remind you that if you, like me, are trying to finish your Christmas wish list for yourself or your kids, maybe you're trying to figure out what to let people know that you would like. And of course, I'm always a big fan of gift certificates for massages or pedicures or those types of things to help us with our overwhelm and stress. But I would love for you to consider doing a decluttering session with me. Now, of course, if you are in the DC metro area, we can do that in person. If you are not, we can do it over the phone, over Zoom, and I can actually help you with mindset. If there's something that you're having a hard time letting go of, I can help with routines. I can help you hand over hand in a certain area of your home to be able to take everything that we have learned here and put it into action. And it is a pretty affordable price right now. It is $47 for the virtual session and $100 for about a 2-hour session with me in your home. So if you are interested in finding out more, to put that on your Christmas wish list, I invite you to go to simplebyemmy.com/coaching. simplebyemmy.com/coaching, and you can find out more information. And I look forward to hopefully speaking with you. And if not, definitely make sure that you're joining the free Facebook group at tinyurl.com/moms overcoming overwhelm. Okay, so we're going to jump into what is this secret, Emily? I need to know the secret. And the secret is something that I kind of had to remind myself of today because I've had 2 sick kiddos in the span of 4 days and things are just not going the way I planned. Found myself short-tempered and just really kind of out of my element with routines. Like I just remembered that I have laundry in the washer right now. As I'm recording this, I'm sure you've been there. But when we're thinking about the life we want, a joyful life, a clutter-free life, a peaceful life, I believe that the secret is to recalibrate our idea of what enough is. Now, enough is kind of a strange word. So let's say we're sitting down to Thanksgiving dinner and someone says, hey, do you want some mashed potatoes? And you say, sure. And so they take the spoon and they start putting mashed potatoes on, mashed potatoes. And at one point you say, okay, that's enough, right? And so enough it means not only the minimum amount of something that we would want, right? Like we don't want any less than that, but on the other hand, we don't want any more. And so I'm sure you have been in the situation where your kids are driving you crazy and you yell, that's enough, right? So when we're thinking about this concept of enough and what that means for us, we're going back to what we talked about in episode 15. These 3 words are sabotaging your decluttering efforts, the 3 words being just in case. And we talked about abundance versus scarcity mentality. And so an abundance mentality is that we have enough, we are enough, right? We're able to give from the excess that we have. We're able to have gratitude for what we already have and have that feeling of contentment that what we have and what we are is enough. And as we talk about Thanksgiving, that's a huge thing, right? Gratitude, remembering what we have, remembering everything, all the blessings that we have that we're grateful for. So if you want to learn more about abundance versus scarcity mindset, I would definitely recommend episode 15. But the way that this plays into this idea and recalibration of what enough is for us is that perhaps you are buying things you don't need, you're constantly having Amazon come to your doorstep, and then you're recognizing like, wow, this is too much. I'm always having to declutter. It's sort of this cycle of consumerism that you never feel like you have enough, and so it's always kind of more, more, more. Well, I was able to, through my experience, discover something that I call the cycle of minimalism. And if you don't like minimalism, you could use the cycle of decluttering or the cycle of simplicity. And it's what is making our lives less complicated, what's making things easier for us to live with less and be content and happy with that. So let me just give you an example, and then we'll go into what that cycle of minimalism is, which actually helps us to recalibrate our idea of enough so that that is lower, and then we're able to have that gratitude and joy and contentment while also enjoying a clutter-free home. So back when I was pre-kids in the working world, I was obsessed with dresses. I've talked about this on the podcast before. I would always be looking online, always wanting to buy more and more and more. I probably had maybe 25 to 50 dresses in my closet. And it was the dopamine hit of being able to find something, thinking about how fun it would be to wear the dress. And when I started pursuing minimalism and simplicity, which I talk about in episode 1, more about my story, then I wasn't in an office anymore. I had a newborn. I wasn't really having an opportunity or a reason to wear all of these dresses. And so the first thing that I did, recognizing that all of these dresses in my closet was aspirational clutter, was that I started to acquire less. I realized I didn't need to be buying these dresses, right? So I was able to stop the inflow and the influx. And as I acquired less, which is the first step of the cycle of minimalism, I was able to be grateful for what I had and realize that it was enough. And in fact, I was able to declutter my excess, recognizing that there were other people that could be blessed by and benefit from all of these dresses. And so I knew that the dopamine hit of buying something new wouldn't last. And it was almost like my set point of happiness, like that point where you're happy and normally we keep getting more to make sure we stay happy. I realized that I then required less to find that set point. So I acquired less, and then I required less because I knew that I was content and was okay with what I had. And after I required less, I was recognizing that there was nothing that could ever come into my home that was going to make me happy, at least in the long term. And that actually, by getting rid of the excess, I was able to reclaim my time and my energy and my peace and my happiness. And so then I started desiring less of what the world told me mattered. So I can go onto my phone, I can be on Instagram, the ads come up, I can ignore them. I can unsubscribe to retail emails. I don't have the fear of missing out on all of the Black Friday sales and all the things happening. I was able to say, I understand that I don't need it. I am content with this level of enough. And therefore, I'm not spending my energy and time seeking. I do not have that desire to purchase. Now I'm shopping if I'm replacing something. It's not that I'm going out because I need to have the latest and greatest. And so that cycle of minimalism, again, to acquire less, then require less, and then desire less, which makes us then acquire less, which is why it's a cycle. It allows us to really break free of consumption and get off what's called the hedonic treadmill. And the hedonic treadmill means that we adapt to these positive or negative life events, and our happiness levels eventually return to a set point. So we buy a new car and it's great and we're so happy, but then the dopamine wears off and we're kind of back to that initial level of happiness. And so we're then able, when we recognize this new level of enough, we're able to spend our precious resources of time, energy, money, focus, attention on what matters most to us and what's aligned with our values. And we have less clutter in our home. We have more peace. We have more time to spend on what matters. And really, isn't that what we're all about here? Isn't that what we're going after? And so I want you to really think about what your idea of enough is. And does that need to be recalibrated in order to find the peace and the happiness and the clutter-free home that you are desiring? So to recap, when we're thinking about the secret, right? The secret to a peaceful and a clutter-free home, it goes to having that abundance mentality of recognizing that what we have is enough. We are enough. We don't need anything in order to make us more. We have enough as we are. And then we're able to have gratitude and contentment for what we have. We're able to be generous with the excess. And then we're able to get into this minimalism cycle where we can first acquire less, realize that we require less, and then we desire less. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I'm going to link to a couple things in the show notes, including a blog post that I wrote about this. And I hope that all of you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, that you're able to remember what matters most, remember what enough is, especially like me, when you go back to seconds for the Thanksgiving meal and you're super thankful that you wore your leggings. So I really appreciate you. And on Thursday, we're going to have a fantastic conversation with my friend Elizabeth Andrievsky, and we're going to be talking about mom rage and anger and emotional regulation. I know that you're really going to love that conversation. So I will see you on Thursday. Bye for now. If you like today's podcast, here's what you can do. Just take 30 seconds to leave me a review. I know you're a busy mama. You're overwhelmed, in fact. But 30 seconds of your day makes such an impact. I'll be blessed by your words. They'll definitely make my day. And who knows, you might be entered for this month's giveaway. In Apple Podcasts, scroll down to write a review. Thanks so much for your time. I'm so grateful for you.